The Global Hoenn Tour is this weekend, and today we're running through all the tips and tricks you'll need to know for this event. Now, I do want to know, we're not going to be talking about any of the event details in this video, or else this video would be like 1,000 years long, but link below to a video breaking down everything going down during the tour, so if you want to check it out, go watch that real quick. Now, before I do get into the tips, I just want to say there's a little bit more information that has been dropped since I made that event details video. First of all, Shiny Boost for select Pokemon has been confirmed for the Global Hoenn Tour, whether you buy the Jirachi ticket or not. And on the website, it says Niantic has confirmed to Eurogamer that no other ticket will be sold as part of the Hoenn Tour, and shiny rates will be boosted whether players decide to pick the Jirachi research or not. However, Niantic clarified that the boost only refers to select species, so not every single Pokemon is going to have shiny boost. Probably most of them are going to be the full odds 1 in 500, which is kind of sucky, but there's going to be shiny boost. Yonkis also made a pretty good prediction. All of the Pokemon that are going to be boosted, if the Ruby team or the Sapphire wins the challenge, those will probably be the Pokemon being shiny boosted when they get boosted. So the ones on screen you can see right here. Yeah, I know, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Now, I'm making this video like a week and a half early because I'm going to be in Mexico when this video is going live, but I do just want to clarify as well that so far there has been no confirmation that we're going to be getting double catch Stardust, double catch XP, quarter egg distance, all of those bonuses we usually get with big events like this. None of that's been confirmed. So this is looking to be a very regular event other than shiny boost for those Pokemon. Also, finally, after rereading the website, I have confirmed, I believe, that wild Latios and Latias are going to be spawning in the wild, similar to how the 3 dogs are spawning in the wild. And there'll be research, you can take snapshots of these Pokemon, but they will be catchable, probably similar to the Galarian birds, but just note you can probably find wild shiny Latios and Latias during this event. Okay, that's just all the extra new info. Let's get right into the tips, starting with pre-event tips. How do you get ready before this event even starts? Number 1, collect Pokeballs. You're gonna wanna make sure you have a bunch of red Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls before this event starts. And if you wanna know how to do that, I'm gonna link below a video on how to prep a lot of Pokeballs. Going to this event with the most amount of Pokeballs you have is gonna be the best because again, this is a 2-day event. It's 8 hours both days, so you don't really wanna be running out of Pokeballs, so do the best you can to prep before this event. Also, clearing out your Pokemon storage, make sure you have a bunch of space for this event. I hope you guys did it during the Valentine's Day event this month because we had the 3 times transfer candy, but clear out a bunch of space as much as you can really do. I recommend, like, if you can, 50% of your storage, have space for that so you can catch a bunch of new Pokemon. I'll link below, again, a video on how to clear your space. It's actually a recent one, an updated one I made. So if you want to find out how I do it, go ahead and check that video. Also, set your buddy as a great buddy before the event starts. If you don't know, the great buddies can do the buddy bounce back trick, and you're definitely gonna want to make sure you have this during the event because when you're missing those throws during the day and you want to catch a lot of Pokemon, the buddy can come in clutch, so make sure you equip a great buddy. Finally, plan your play location before the event even starts. Again, this is all prep stuff. Go to a local Discord, go to a local Facebook group, or go walk around your neighborhood and decide where you're gonna play. Obviously, you can go to a downtown area. That's gonna be a great place to play, but you could also go to a park or something like that. Just decide where you wanna play before the event starts so you're not figuring that out on the day. Now, before we also get into anything in-game, we have to talk about how to prep yourself outside of the game. Yes, you need to wear the proper attire to be prepared for an event like this. I know a lot of you guys are gonna be like, "That is so dumb." Like, obviously, I'm gonna make sure I have, you know, shorts on if it's nice and wear sunscreen. But you'd be surprised, man, your day can be absolutely ruined if you do not have the correct stuff going into the day, because again, this is gonna be an 8-hour event. And if you're planning on staying out 8 hours both days playing the whole Hoenn Tour, you need to make sure you have a couple things. Number 1, good shoes. Make sure you have good running shoes, good walking shoes, whatever. You're gonna be on your feet all day and you do not want to be wearing flat shoes like Vans or something like that, which will just destroy your ankles. I've invested myself in a good pair of running shoes and they have done me so much for Pokemon Go because of the amount of walking you do. Also, make sure you have a backpack. A backpack is amazing because if you have extra layers on and you get sweaty during the day or you get hot, you can take stuff off, you can put them in the backpack, and it just allows you to have more hands-free stuff because you can throw everything in your backpack. In that backpack, you can also throw a water bottle, you can throw some snacks, some food, etc. You can throw your auto catchers, your battery packs, make sure you have those charged and ready, and all that stuff. I just want you guys to think about what you're wearing going into the event, because no matter how much you know about how to maximize in-game, if you cannot maximize yourself outside of the game, you're just gonna have a terrible day. With that being said, though, we can finally get into tips for the actual event, starting with the best Pokemon to catch during the Hoenn Tour. Yes, I'm about to go through all 135 Hoenn Pokemon and break down which ones are meta relevant, which ones are you going to be wanting to be catching, hatching, raiding during this event. As I go through these, by the way, I will throw in the top left corner how these Pokemon are encounterable during the Hoenn Tour. So if I say like a Pokemon is good, you can just take a look in the top left and it'll show you how that Pokemon is encounterable, and you can go ahead and encounter it and then get this meta relevant Pokemon. So without further ado, let's get into the best Hoenn Pokemon in Pokemon Go. Starting with Trico, which evolves all the way into Sceptile. Sceptile is going to, of course, have a Mega Form in Pokemon Go, which is the best grass type raid attacker in the game, and will also not be a bad Pokemon for the Ultra League. We also have Torchic available during this event, which Torchic evolves into Blaziken. Blaziken, again, is going to have that Mega Form, which is the #1 fighting type and #1 fire type raid attacker in the game, and again, also not a bad Pokemon for the Ultra League. We then have Mudkip. Mudkip evolves into Swampert. Swampert is going to be meta in the Great League, the Ultra League, and even in the Master League, all 3 of the leagues, as well as a decent water type raid attacker, a decent ground type raid attacker, and of course does have the Mega Swampert, which is one of the best ground and water type raid attackers. Mudkip is one of the best Pokemon you can hunt during the Hoenn tour because Swampert is just so meta relevant. I do want to note though, the 3 starters, you're going to want to have their community legacy moves on them. At the time I'm making this video, I'm not sure if you can get them through evolution during this event. My guess would be yes, but I will update you guys in the pinned comments. Any information, by the way, in this video that might be outdated, probably been updated in the pinned comments because again, this video is like done a week and a half early. We then have Lotad. Lotad evolves into Ludicolo, in which Ludicolo does have some play in the Great League and the Ultra League. It is a pretty good core breaker and there's not a lot of things that it's weak to. We also have Seedot in there. Seedot evolves into Shiftry. Shiftry is going to be good in the Great League and the Ultra League as a closer, putting out really big damage when shields are down. We have Wingull in there. Wingull evolves into Pelipper, which is a new wing attack buff. Pelipper is one of the best Great League Pokemon, specifically on the safe swap. We have Ralts in there. Ralts evolves into Gardevoir, in which Gardevoir is one of the best fairy type raid attackers in the game and #1 in shadow form. And also Mega Gardevoir is now recently in game and is the #1 fairy type raid attacker in the game, and I believe #5 psychic type raid attacker in the game. Ralts, if it's a male, can also evolve into Gallade, in which Gallade is good in the Ultra League, and of course does have the Mega form, which could come to the game in the future. There's also Surskit in there. Surskit is a potential Ditto disguise, so if you see Surskits in the wild during this event, you can go ahead and catch them for a potential Ditto catch. Next up, we have Shroomish. Shroomish is one of those Pokemon that gets you boosted Stardust, giving you 500 Stardust every time you catch it. So if you see Shroomishes in the wild, you catch them because that can get you a lot of Stardust during this event. We then have Slackoth, which evolves into Slacking. Slacking is not a bad gym defender because it has such a high CP, but it's not a very, very strong Pokemon in Pokemon Go just because it has terrible moves. Also, Vigoroth, the middle stage there, is actually a pretty good Great League Pokemon, specifically for some limited cups, but Vigoroth does put in work in the Great League. We have Azumarill in there. Azumarill evolves all the way into Azumarill, in which Azumarill is one of the best Great League Pokemon and has been for the longest time. We also have Nosepass in there, which evolves into Probopass, which does have some play in some niche metas like the Sinnoh Cup. I believe it was pretty good. We also have Sableye in there. Sableye actually gets you boosted stars every time you catch it at 750 per. So catch those Sableyes because they're going to get you more Stardust. Also, Sableye, specifically in the purified form, is one of the best Great League safe swaps. So although you can't really use these wild caught Sableyes, you can get XL candies and then invest them into the purified ones that know the move return. Sableye also does have a Mega form, which could come to the game in the future. We also have Mawile in there, which Mawile is not bad for some limited Great League metas and also does have Mega Mawile in the future. Aeron's also in there, which evolves all the way into Aggron. Aggron, of course, does have the Mega form right now, which is one of the best steel type raid attackers in the game. Meditite's also in there, which evolves into Medicham. Medicham does have the Mega form, which will come hopefully to the game in the future. And also Medicham is one of the best Great League Pokemon, putting in a lot of work. We also have Electrike in there, which evolves into Manectric. Mega Manectric specifically is the #1 electric type raid attacker in the game right now, so make sure you go ahead and catch good IV ones for the Mega. We also have Rosalia in there. Rosalia evolves into Roserade, which does have some play in the Ultra League and also the Master League Premier metas. And Roserade is also not a bad grass and poison type raid attacker. We have Carvanha in there, which evolves into Sharpedo. Sharpedo does have a Mega form in the future, so definitely great to prep through this event. We also have Numel in there. Numel evolves into Camerupt, in which Camerupt does have the Mega in the future. We have Swablu, which evolves into Altaria. Altaria is going to be good in the Great League, one of the best Pokemon there, as well as Altaria does have the Mega form in the game right now. We have Barboach in there, which evolves into Wishcash. Wishcash does have some play in the Great League, not a bad Pokemon there. We have Lileep, which evolves into Credilli. Credilli does have some play in the Weather Cup, if that limited meta ever does come back. We have Phoebus, which evolves into Milotic. Milotic does have some play in the Master League Premier Cup and metas without legendaries, as it does pretty well there. We have Shuppet, which evolves into Banette. Banette, of course, does have Mega Banette in the game right now, so definitely worth getting that. We also have Tropius in there, which is a good Pokemon for the Great League. We also have Chimecho in there. Chimecho does get you 1,000 stars every time you catch it, so if you see those Chimechos during this event, make sure you catch them to get boosted Stardust. Also Absol in there. Absol, of course, does have Mega Absol right now, so definitely go ahead and get a good IV one if you do not have a good IV Mega Absol. We have Wynot in there, which Wynot is a very strong Pokemon for the Little Cup if it doesn't come back as the remix version. Since it is banned in the remix version, it is good for the Little Cup though. We have Snorunt in there, which evolves into Glalie. Glalie is going to have, of course, a Mega form right now. I believe it's the #1 Ice type raid attacker in the game. And you can also take Snorunt, if it's a female, evolve it into Frostlass, in which Frostlass is a very strong Great League safe swap Pokemon, a very strong Pokemon there. We also have Spheal there, which evolves all the way into Walrein. Walrein is going to be good for the Great League and for the Ultra League. Although it did recently get nerfed, it is still a very strong Pokemon for both those metas. Coming down to the end of it, we have Bagon, which of course evolves into Salamence. Salamence does have the Mega form, Mega Salamence, as well as Salamence being one of the best Dragon type raid attackers in the game, and the Shadow form of Salamence being the #1 Dragon type raid attacker in the game. We also have Beldum in there, which evolves all the way into Metagross. We all know Metagross as the #1 Steel type raid attacker in the game, specifically in Shadow form, and also Metagross, of course, does have Mega Metagross in the future. You also can't sleep on Metagross in the Master Master League, as it does a lot of work there. Now we also have the 3 Reggies. I do not believe the Reggies are going to be available during this event because they were available the last couple months in raids, but I will cover them, as Regirock is not bad for the Ultra League, Regice is not bad for the Ultra League, and Registeel, of course, is one of the best Great League and Ultra League Pokemon there is. We also have Latias, which of course Latias does have a Mega form, but I do believe it's going to be in the Mega raids before this event even starts, so you'll probably have a good one. By the way, these ones are the ones that we talked about being available in the wild. We also have Latios, which also does have a Mega form, and note Latios Mega form is a better Dragon type Ray attacker and Psychic type Ray attacker than the Latias, so definitely go with the blue one over the red one if you have the option. Finally, we do have the Primal Kyogre, which of course will get you a regular Kyogre, in which regular Kyogre is going to be good in the Master League, also going to be a good water type Ray attacker, and of course you can Primal revert your regular Kyogres to get Primal Kyogre, as that will be a very strong water type Ray attacker. Of course, there'll also be Primal Groudon raids, in which that will get you a regular Groudon, in which that Groudon again is going to be good in the Master League, although you do need Legacy Fire Punch on it. Also, Groudon is not a bad ground type Ray attacker, and of course you can Primal revert Groudon. Finally, we do have Rayquaza, which Rayquaza is actually in raids outside of the Hoenn Tour, so before and after the Global Hoenn Tour, you can do the Rayquaza raids. Rayquaza, of course, is one of the best Dragon type Raid attackers in the game, and also does have Mega Rayquaza, which I don't know when it's going to be coming, but it'll be a very strong Mega, so get a good IV one. We also have Jirachi, which of course is available from that $5 ticket if you buy it, the shiny version. Jirachi, unfortunately though, not much meta relevance, but you can run it in the Great League and have some fun with the Doom Desire moveset I believe it has. Finally, that leaves us with all 4 forms of Deoxys. The only one we want to look at here is going to be the defense form Deoxys, which is good in the Great League and the Ultra League. Okay, well that is pretty much it. That is all the Hoenn Pokemon and which ones you should be catching during this event. Hopefully that gave you guys a good breakdown of which ones you're going to prioritize. A lot of the Pokemon are really just Pokemon you want to get ready for their Mega forms when they drop. Let's move right along though, getting into candy tips and how to get a lot of candy during this event, specifically what Megas you're going to want to Mega evolve. First of all, of course, you can use Pinap Berries during this event. Regular Pinaps will multiply your catch candy by 2 and Silvers by 2.33. So make sure you use those Pinap Berries on any Pokemon you want a lot of candy for, specifically the legendaries. You can also Mega Evolve. If you don't know when you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, any Pokemon you catch that shares a type with that Mega, you will get more candy, more XL candy, and more XP for catching Pokemon of that type. We want to properly Mega Evolve our Pokemon, so we're getting extra candy for the right Pokemon. Now we have 4 rotating habitats during the event. So let me go through what Mega you should have active for each rotating habitat so you can always be getting the most amount of candy. Starting with the Blistering Sands habitat, I'll put all the spawns on screen. What Mega should we Mega Evolve here? I would go with a Mega Charizard X because that would get you extra candy for a Torchic, a Numel, and a Bagon, which are like the 3 meta relevant Pokemon we really want to focus on. However, if you do want extra candy for a different Pokemon, you can go with a different type of Pokemon. Moving on to the Eerie Mist, on screen is going to be all the spawns. Looking at this here, I think a Mega Slowbro or any sort of Psychic type Mega is going to be the best here because it'll get you extra XLs for Meditite, for Ralts, and for Beldum, which are the main ones. There's also Absol and Zangoose in there, which are rarer Pokemon to get XL candies for, so you can go with a Dark or a normal type Mega, but I would definitely focus on the Psychic because that Beldum is just so good to get XLs for. Moving on to the Verdant Earth, on screen is going to be all the spawns. This one's definitely more of a grass focused spawn, so I would go with a grass type Mega to get extra XLs for Trico, for Roselia, for Seedot, which are all Pokemon that need XL candies. But if you do want extra XLs for Electrike and Mawile, which of course do have those Mega forms we talked about, or even Swablu in there, you can Mega Evolve accordingly. But personally, I think I'm going to be going with a grass type. Finally, we have the Ancient Shorts habitat, which is going to be a clear-cut water type habitat. So definitely Mega Evolve any sort of water type Mega here, and you will get a bunch of XL candies for pretty much almost all of these Pokemon. Definitely go with the water for that one. Your final option, if you're just going to be raiding Primal Kyogre and Groudon all day, is to Mega Evolve to get extra candies for these Pokemon. Specifically, Mega Swampert will get you extra candies and XLs for either of these Pokemon. So if you're just going to raid the Primals all day, have a Mega Swampert running all day, and you'll get extra candy for Groudon and Kyogre. Another way to get more candies during this event is going to be to trade. It is still the season of Mythical Wishes during this event, which means you get 1 extra regular candy and 1 guaranteed XL candy every time you trade away a Pokemon. Specifically, March 26th at night after the tour, 27th and 28th, you will all have access to this bonus. So make sure after the event, those next 3 days, take any Pokemon you caught during this Hoenn Tour event that you want extra XL candies for and trade them away. You'll only, of course, have 3 days until the new season, which I'm guessing in the new season, we won't actually have this bonus. I think it is still going to be definitely worth it to go ahead and trade. So make sure you mark your calendars, book out that trade time, and you can choose, I think, 300 Pokemon since 3 days, 100 trades a day, that you can go ahead and trade away, get XL candy. Pretty much any of those like Beldums, Bagons, all those rare stuff that you want the XLs, that's the stuff you should be saving. Finally, you can transfer Pokemon. At the time making this video, I do not know when the next 2 times transfer spotlight hour is, but my guess is sometime in March. Hopefully we'll have a 2 times transfer spotlight hour. So save all the Pokemon you want a lot of XL candies for until that time and then transfer them then. If we don't get one in March, we'll probably get one in April. Now from the 2 kilometer eggs during this event, you can get a bunch of baby baby Pokemon. Specifically, Pichu, Igglybuff, Azurill, and Wynaut are all going to be hatching. If you hatch a good IV of any of these Pokemon, or you plan on evolving any of these Pokemon into their final forms, make sure you double move them before you evolve them. If you don't know, baby Pokemon, specifically Pokemon that you can only get from eggs, are cheaper to double move before you evolve them into their regular forms. For example, double moving an Azurill is going to be cheaper than an Azumarill. So of course, if you plan to evolve your Azurill into Azumarill to use it in the Great League, double move it before you evolve it. That'll save you Stardust and candy. Now, since this event has rotating habitats, there's also a little glitch that you can take advantage of. It's called the shiny glitch, in which if you get a shiny at the end of an hour of one of the habitats, for example, if I find a shiny Poochyena at the end of the Blistering Sands habitat, if I don't catch that shiny, I back out of that encounter and I let that hour switch over, that spawn will change into another spawn. But since that shiny value in the code is already in there, that new spawn that it changes into will be shiny. So if I don't catch that shiny Poochyena and then comes the Eerie Mist habitat, a Beldum could spawn and that will be guaranteed a shiny Beldum. A couple things to note though with this glitch. First of all, it is possible that that spawn just disappears when it changes over because that spawn was boosted during 1 hour. There's also of course opportunity for that spawn to just despawn because it expired. Spawns only last 30 minutes in Pokemon Go, so if you find one of these Pokemon and they're pretty much at the end of their spawn time, it could still just disappear before that hour switches over. Yeah, use that glitch if you find a shiny during the day that you already have a bunch of or you don't really care for and you're finding it near the end of an hour. You can go ahead and not catch it, wait till the hour switches over, and then when it switches over, you can get potentially a shiny that you care for. I did this during Blitzel Spot Hour and it worked pretty well, except we got a shiny Glameow, so I wasn't really happy because I wanted something better. That finally brings us into the medal tips and what platinum medals you should grind during this event. You need 35 platinum medals, go from level 48 to 49, and during these big events like this, it's an amazing time to grind a lot of platinum medals and take a huge chunk towards those medals. First of all, of course, all the type medals. If there's any of these medals you haven't completed, mainly people don't complete the Dragon Tear medal, the one to catch 2,500 Dragon type, as well as the Fairy medal. Make sure you catch those types of Pokemon in the wild. So like any Bagons you see, catch them if you haven't completed this. These medals will also make it easier to catch those types of Pokemon. So you definitely want to complete all your platinum medals or do as much as you can during this event. We also have the Pikachu fan medal. I know it is literally Gen 3 and Pikachu is a Gen 1 Pokemon, but somehow they forced a costume Pikachu into this event. So you can catch those costume Pikachus to work on your Pikachu fan medal, catch 1,000 Pikachus. We'll also of course have the Picnicker medal. Use a lure module to help any trainer catch 2,500 Pokemon. Although we don't have boosted lure module during this event, at the time making this video at least, you can still go to a busy area, go to a downtown area and drop a bunch of lures. And since so many people are going to be out, since it's the Hoenn Tour, it's an event that probably will only ever happen once, people will be catching Pokemon off of your lures and helping you complete this medal. Specifically, I recommend as well dropping the premium lures, not the purple ones, the other ones, because those will have a higher spawn rate and spawn Pokemon every 1 minute and 30 seconds, I believe it is, versus like the 3 minutes the purple lure does. So it's just going to help everyone get more spawns and you complete this medal faster because more spawns off the lure. We also of course have the Hoenn medal. Register 135 Pokemon discovered in the Hoenn Pokedex. Every single Hoenn Pokemon will be available during this event, I believe, except for the Regis. So make sure you go ahead and complete this medal. Specifically, I still need a Relicanth. That's the Pokemon I'm missing. So I'm definitely gonna be hatching those 10-kilometer eggs to complete this medal. This is just the easiest medal and this is the best time to complete this medal. Make sure you catch all the Hoenn Pokemon. We also have the Scientist medal, evolve 2,000 Pokemon. Specifically, we have Wurmple and Whismur spawning during this event. So if you see those Pokemon, catch them because those two Pokemon only cost 12 candies to evolve. So you can go ahead and hold on to your Whismurs, hold on to your Wurmples, save those for 2 times evolve XP spotlight hours, evolve them on a lucky egg to get a bunch of XP, and also work on your Scientist medal. Again, these are the cheapest Pokemon you can evolve in Pokemon Go. They don't really require a lot of candy, so they're definitely gonna be worth catching and saving. We also have the Pilot medal here. Earn 10 million kilometers across the distance of all Pokemon trades. If you do plan on going after the 7-kilometer eggs during this event, if you don't know 7-kilometer eggs, since you get those eggs from gifts, that egg will originally be from where that gift is. So if your friend from Paris sends you a gift, that Pokemon will technically be native to Paris. What you can do then is you can trade that Pokemon with a locally caught Pokemon and get a lot of kilometers towards your Pilot medal. Then have the Rising Star medal, defeat 150 species of Pokemon in raids. Take a look at the raid roster during this event. It's not a huge raid roster, but if there's any of the Pokemon in the raid roster that you have not raided in the past, like any of the Deoxys forms or Torchic, Mudkip, or Trico, raid them at least once to work on your Rising Star. Finally, the Unknown medal, catch all 28 forms of Unknown. I do believe we have some Unknown spawning during this event. Unknown H. It's not really clear at the time making this video how we're gonna get Unknowns. Are they in the wild? Are they off incense? But nonetheless, I do believe there should be some Unknowns in the wild, so make sure you catch all the letters that you do not have yet to work on this medal. Now, the last thing I'm gonna say here, and this is gonna be the most important tip of all, this is something that if you don't do anything else during this event, you have to do this. Have fun. I think so many people get boggled up in these big events and like grind, blah, blah, blah. If you don't have fun during this event, none of this matters. If you go out on this event and you catch a Shundo Arceus, which is not even available in the game, but you get the best Pokemon ever, if you didn't have fun doing it, it's literally not worth it. I just want to make sure you guys keep your priorities straight and make sure that at the end of the day, the goal of this event, the goal of Pokemon Go, the goal of this video game is to have fun. So I hope you guys have fun, you guys have a good time with your friends, and you make that the main focus of the Hoenn tour, not getting heaps of shinies. Nonetheless, so that is going to be it for me. That is all my tips for the Hoenn tour. If I missed any, as always, comment below, let me know which ones I missed, and also go take a scroll down there, check if there's any tips in there that could be very helpful to you. That's going to be me though, guys. I'm only going to be playing the second day of Hoenn tour, by the way, because I'm actually flying back from Mexico on the first day. So I don't know how much Hoenn tour content you will see from me, but I hope this guide can make sure you guys have a good Hoenn tour, make sure you guys have a lot of fun while I'll be on my plane eating some airplane food, probably. Have fun during the Hoenn tour. We'll see you on the next one. Follow for tips. Peace.